New video, new location. So I'm doing it in the English office for various reasons. Right, I thought I would do a quick session on online interviews. First things first, it's really important that you try and call someone over Teams or over Zoom in the next week and record it and have a little watch back and see what your internet is like. I'm going to do a really quick video about some things you should be doing. Okay, if your sound quality isn't great on your laptop, you should be using earphones, either plug-in ones or a headset. If you've got a headset, we had a mock interview last week with someone who was on a headset and it was excellent quality. We could hear the student really clearly. They had a microphone right by their mouth, very, very good. If you have the plug-in earphones, that's fine. Make sure you make sure the microphone is near your face. But a lot of computers that are relatively old, their microphone isn't good. So you must make sure you check the sound. If in doubt, make a Teams call. So just start a Teams call and record it and then watch it back in stream to hear what you sound like. It's not good enough if you're far away from the screen. They won't be able to hear you and it's not great. The other thing is, when you are on screen, don't look at yourself. If you look at yourself, you're not actually looking at the camera. And it's really important you engage with the person who's speaking to you. So wherever your camera is, if it's on a phone, for example, you're using your camera as a phone, which you can do. You can use an IV cam. Let's imagine your visualizer or your camera is over there and I'm speaking to you here. Yes, I think that's really interesting. I'm fascinated by Middle English. I'm really, I think it's really interesting. Okay. One of the things that I learned in my early YouTubes was I had to actually look at the camera. I never look at myself. I just look at the camera, completely ignore myself. It's really important that you do that. Don't mumble. It's such a worry for me that my amazing, brilliant students won't come across as well as students who are actually may not be nearly as clever as you, but possibly might be more confident. It doesn't matter if you're not confident, but if you can, try and look at the camera and then you won't look at yourself and feel, a little bit awkward. And don't be afraid to pause. I think it's hard when you're online. You want to answer the question, get in and say the answer. Don't be afraid to, well, let me think about that. Pause, take your time, and then answer is what I would recommend. You would do that in person. You would say as a very valid pause. You would process, you would think, do the same in an online interview. Don't be afraid to take that time to wait. Don't rush in with the answer necessarily. So, as far as possible, look at the camera if you can, or at least be aware of where the camera is. Don't look at yourself. Make sure that your sound is good quality. And if your internet is good, go to a room in your house that does have decent internet. Unlike my backdrop, it would be really good just to have a plain wall. If you can, if it's just against a bedroom wall in your room, that's great too. It is, whatever you need to do, it is fine. But those things might be a bit less of a distraction, perhaps for you, that I am really close to the laptop. I am about 30 centimeters away from the screen, not far at all. If I sat at what I might call a kind of comfortable distance, I am still within a meter of the screen. It's too far. Okay, so if at all possible, get close to your screen so that they can hear you and so that you are large enough in their screen so you're engaging with it. It may not feel natural, but it needs to be as reasonable as possible. They need to hear you. They want to be able to see what you think. If for whatever reason your computer is lower than you, I'm just going to show you what happens. Okay, so even if your camera is higher, you need to make sure that it's at a height that they are actually engaging with your face. Similarly, lighting is important. If at all possible, you need good, bright lighting. This actually is not at my normal level of desk height. I've actually raised it up on a box, okay? So put your laptop up, then it will actually be at the same level as your voice. So for example, the microphones on my laptop are at the keyboard level. If I did, let's say, tilt this up, what's interesting is the sound isn't as good up here. That's the height I would type at, but this is the height. So I've just lifted it up by 30 centimeters. That's the height I would have it. And then I would tilt it down. Do that kind of planning now. Tilt it, put it on something stable, sort it out where you want to have it. Make sure that your voice is projecting to a point where the microphone is, okay? And like I said, that kind of stuff you can sort out in an evening in the next week. Have a light on your face, okay? So have a light on your face. If you can have natural light, that's great. But don't have a light behind you because then they can't see your face and your emotions, okay? Have a light that side. If you're going to use your phone, make sure that it's landscape. And again, look at the camera. Or you could look at the people, but then you also need to make sure that your camera is nearby. Those are kind of things that just get yourself, try it out in the next few days. It feels odd, but it is worth getting right. So lift it up above you, have the microphone so it picks up your voice, sit closer to it than you think you need. Don't be far away. Don't tilt it down. Don't have it too low. If you've got a space in your house that is quiet and calm, settle yourself up there. Get yourself ready half an hour early. Get yourself ready half an hour early. Settle yourself down, get your personal statement out, have all the things you need, a bottle of water that definitely isn't going to spill, pen and paper perhaps, anything you want here, okay? Then be ready early, calm yourself, take a few deep breaths. If you want to have a little walk around, sit yourself down, prepare yourself. As far as you can, show your interest for the subject. Think of it like you are having a discussion. I hope you love your subject and you're talking with someone who thinks your subject is the coolest thing. This is someone who knows way more than you do. And if anything, it's just an opportunity for a really great conversation about something challenging that you won't have done before. That is great. If that's what you think of it as, that is the way to enjoy it. So what are they looking for? They will be giving everyone something they cannot do yet. No one's going to go into the interview like, well, I read this last week. I was looking at this text in the Egyptology file of my local library. They won't. It's going to be something that you won't have heard of. No one will have come across. The maths that you probably haven't done. And they want to see that they would like to teach you for at least 3 years. That actually your idea of fun is working your way through some problems or working your way through a text or working your way through something and then going to either supervision or a tutorial with that done so you can talk about it. They can critique your ideas and push you and see what you think and see if you can get some ideas and sometimes make mistakes and be like, actually, no, I was wrong. They want to see that you might be the kind of kid that they would like to chat to on their sofa for the next 3 years, because that's actually what it's like. A lot of that means that you like and are good at picking up new ideas and new information. They are going to give you something hard and something new, and they don't want you to be frightened of that. Kind of, okay, so I'm not sure about this, but the way I would approach it is when I read Paradise Lost, or when I read Chaucer, or something when I was reading this, or in history we learned about the following, or in biology we have done this. I'm not sure. This could be wrong, but try it out. That's what they want. They want it to be a discussion. If you are using tech where you're going to be writing stuff on a tablet or writing stuff on the screen, spend the next week writing on a stylus or writing on a tablet, practicing writing things down. They're not going to judge you on your blooming handwriting. They are not interviewing your handwriting. They're interviewing your ability to talk about new ideas, to take on board new ideas. Can you enjoy making mistakes? You are going to make mistakes. You aren't going to go through an interview and find everything easy. In fact, actually, if you did, that would be concerning because they wouldn't have really pushed you. They are going to see what you do with the information they provide. Let's imagine that you take a stance on something. You have an opinion, if it's like politics or English or a text, and you've got an opinion on something, or even on a piece of scientific evidence, and you've kind of got an idea and you're going to run with it. And you go down this idea of talking about this plant or whatever it is they've shown you or something they've given you, an artifact or piece of text or painting or something. And you think, okay, I think it's this, and I think it's the following, and you go down this, and so that would be this century, or that would be this information, or that would be this kind of plant system, or this would be this respiratory system, or whatever it is. This would be rock formation of this particular era, and it might have the following things. And then part of the way through, when they're talking to you about it and they're giving you hints, and you pick them up, and you think, oh, I'm barking up completely the wrong tree. Say it. Say it. Say, actually, I think I might have got that wrong. And I think I might have done the other thing. And then they might give you time. They might say, that's fine, let's leave that. And you're like, oh. And then you move on to another question. Alternatively, you might have the opportunity to then go back and retrace your step and try something else. That's okay. They might push you through a lot of set of questions. Ask this question. Nope, haven't got that right. Move on. Nope, haven't. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, you got that one right. Let's go with it. So it might be like that, or it might be that you can have a space to kind of go, oh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. I got that completely wrong. Let me try again. They are going to want you to have ideas, to be willing to talk aloud. If they give you something and then you kind of go, I don't really know, and you're not willing to try it, that's not a great sign. Just talk. Just talk. I really don't know. It sounds a bit like it might be a kind of political piece from Stalinist era, but I'm not sure. And this could be wrong. It could be kind of microbiology of some kind. And we might be looking at the cell wall of something like just start talking. You'll also notice that teachers generally teach with our hands. It's a terrible habit. Like if I am like, keep calm, keep your hands. I can't. I actually can't. I move my head, move my hands. It's very difficult for editing films, but it is a very good way of you talking through, engaging your ideas. If you can, I would recommend kind of being, I'm not sure about this, or if that's comfortable for you. But again, I am as far as possible trying to look at the camera, not on myself. And I am trying to engage with what is being said. You can say, actually, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat that again? Is it okay if I write this down? Can I write notes? They know where you're from. They don't want you to be super confident and have an opinion and stick to it. They just want to have a chat with you. They want to see the way you think, if you like new ideas. And how do you find it when you're under pressure? These courses are academically demanding, and they will ask you to be out of your comfort zone in most of their one-to-one taught sessions, or it might be you or two others, you one other. And they want to see that you like that kind of pace. I always say these kind of universities, so for example, Oxford, Cambridge, Durham, UCL, Imperial, when they do small group teaching, it's the equivalent of you sitting down with one of your subject teachers for, let's say, 4 hours a week, and them teaching you the topic. Now, how much would you cover in 4 hours with, let's say, if I was teaching you measure for measure, or if I was teaching a class of, 16? I love my class of 16, but if I was teaching 1 or 2 students at a time, I would push them and I would race through stuff, and I would expect them to be able to quote critics and use evidence and read. And then in our session, we would get through a huge amount. That's what they're asking, if you enjoy and if you like and if it'll suit you and if you will actually enjoy that kind of rigor, that kind of immediate depth. And that's what they're wanting to look for. If you come away and actually think, I really struggled under that pressure, I really didn't enjoy that. And if you don't get an offer, it probably meant that you probably wouldn't have enjoyed that kind of dialogue teaching, or perhaps you weren't ready for it. And that's okay. So that's what they want. They want to see that your idea of fun would be to sit down with someone who loves that subject, who has a particular world-class interest in that subject, and that they want to teach you that subject, kind of you and one other student on their sofa for a few hours a week for the next 3 years. And that you would like that kind of pick up, put down, right? They put down an idea and you pick it up and run with it and see what you do, make mistakes and enjoy making mistakes. And like, oh, I messed up there. Get used to talking online. Use the tech that you would use in a real interview. It doesn't matter if you're not particularly confident, but they will want you to show your interest. It's okay to pause. It's okay to pause and listen. Listen. You can come back on what you said. You can make mistakes. You will. Oh, you will. Okay. And just see it as a conversation, an academic conversation that's going to challenge you beyond your comfort zone. But get the tech sorted in the next few days. All right. Hopefully that's been useful. And hopefully you've looked at Harriet, one of the other videos on the channel when she talks about her interviews. I think sometimes interviews can be tough. If you have two and the one goes well, great. If it doesn't go so well, pick yourself up. You never know. Sometimes an interview that you don't feel goes so well is the one where they've really pushed you, really pulled out your ideas. Afterwards, do you feel like your brain is scrambled? That's sometimes a really good thing. It means they have really enjoyed picking apart your ideas and seeing what you do with them. All right, good. I'll see you all soon. Be organized. Get organized in the next few days. Get your tech sorted.